of the big festivals, the big prestigious festivals, Toronto is the most commercial, and it's the one that has um, the most films. There are just so many films here. So they don't favor weird films at the Toronto Film Festival, but because they have, hundreds of films playing there,
Yeah.
inevitably, there are some that are weird, and I've identified about seven, um, which we'll see. I think we can get through them pretty quickly.
Hmm. Hmm.
Let me share my Toronto screen. Can you see my Toronto screen there?
Yes, I can see the Toronto screen.
Well, let me go with starting with the ones I think are probably the most promisingly weird first. Which of these did you think was looked the weirdest, Giles? Maybe I'll let you pick.
Well, scanning through their big alphabetized list, which put all the titles with the under
Yeah.
T, so I wasn't nearly finished nearly as soon as I thought I was going to be. I was most intrigued to see Junk World.
Junk World. Okay, well, let's start with Junk World then. Junk World is, of course, a sequel to a movie,
Prequel.
a prequel, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Um, it's made after
Oh
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
And
chronologically in real life a sequel. It's a prequel in terms of
uh,
the narrative history. To what was Junkhead,
yes,
which you
yes,
saw.
which is something that I should probably check out again because the more I've thought on it on and off over the years, the more I suspect it deserves another look.
You saw it on one of your first trips to.
Yeah, yeah. I saw I think it was an early edit because I remember it being like a couple hours long, and the more recent cuts I've seen, at least the time wise, was slimmed down, which kind of made sense. But regardless, Takahide Hori is, well, certainly talented and dedicated.
Stop motion and animation. Uh, this one, at least, is science fiction.
Mm.
Assume the other one was science fiction as well, and dystopian.
Oh, yes.
And this one involves time travel, which I'm not sure if that was in the first one or
Ooh.
not, or that's new to this one.
And I think that is new. Yeah, the travel in the first one was get downwards
Hmm.
into the subterranean
Hmm.
uh, massive caverns and machines and stuff.
Well,
But
this is set in a subterranean world. Let me read you the synopsis. A surprise attack on a joint expedition between humans and their emancipated clones becomes the freaky fulcrum for a dimension hopping time travel fable set over a millennia before Hori's original subterranean stop motion animated opus Junkhead. So you would be able to tell us more about this, I guess, than I would. I don't know anything really beyond that.
um, it's very dedicated. It's very full. Junkhead is very far into the future. Many thousands of years, and extrapolating out to what that would conceivably look like. And he isn't quite a one-man band, but in the credits, it was almost entirely his name. And reading through here, it looks like
He
he has grown his animation staff from three to six.
doubled it. So,
Um, and
and
oh yeah,
we will say Guillermo del Toro is a fan. So
yep,
that the still
as
we
well he would be.
yeah the still we have doesn't really show you much. It's like two soldiers and what's probably a robot.
Yeah.
The junk refers to the literally junk, or is it just the
Yeah, the junkhead of the first one was this I believe it was a derelict, borderline crashing to pieces robot that we largely follow or that we observe throughout this, and it's a really dumb insult from one of the one of the characters to another, just calling him Junkhead.
Mm.
And
All
or
right,
or
and
is it the Avatar? Oh man, hang on.
Japanese, of course. So
Yes.
okay, that's Junk World. Now the one I picked out as what seemed to me the most promisingly weird is this one called
Huh?
Egghead Republic. Again, the still doesn't tell you much. They really choose some uninteresting stills for the most part for Toronto.
Yeah, and
Just
I
a
mean
picture of an actress, you know.
yeah, looking a little unnerving, I guess, but not,
It's just a headshot. It doesn't
it's a
tell you.
headshot. And
Doesn't
and a
tell
lot
you
of that's
anything.
on actually the distributors, what they want to have as the images, because at least Fantasia pretty much works from
Yeah,
what the
yeah.
filmmakers give them.
It's just that all of them in this one are almost all headshots. You know, they don't give you much information about the film. So
No.
maybe that's intentional. I don't know.
And
However,
maybe
let
she's
me.
really big in Sweden, where this movie comes from.
This is Sweden, yes. So this is a Swedish movie. Let me describe the quick synopsis. Freaky science fiction collides with a ruthless satire of gonzo journalism and indie sleaze excess in this audacious feature by Sweden's Pella Kagerman and Hugo Leja. No idea if those names were pronounced anything near correct, but two Swedish folks. And then the first sentence of the longer synopsis really caught my interest. Even in an alternate timeline where the Cold War burned hot enough for an atomic bomb to fall on Soviet Kazakhstan, there persists a familiar constant, the unpaid internship. For Sonia Schmidt, it is thanks to this exposure economy that she is persuaded by hipper than thou culture mogul Dino Davis, Tyler Labine, to accompany a gonzo journalistic expedition to a joint Soviet American military base that monitors a Kazakh radioactive zone, one rumored to be rife with irradiated centaurs. So, it's kind of a satire, more not more maximalist satire set in the world of Stalker, kind of is how I would describe it. They even use the term "the zone" in there,
Hmm.
so. Um, they also describe the programmer describes it as funny and freaky dreamlike tension as the film teeters between a surrealist farce and an incisive critique of the media industrial complex. That sounds right in my wheelhouse.
Nice.
Um, so since we don't know much about this, do you have anything to add, Giles?
I only know what that website told me, so.
Yes, you didn't notice anything else. All right. Do you have another one you'd like to look at, or?
Yeah, quick. This is probably unlikely, but I'm always got an eye for cartoons and potentially weird children's stuff. Arco looked like an outside shot at potentially being strange, if only because it's French animated, and the image at least suggests a bit of psychedelic lighting.
Yeah, you
And
can go ahead and describe that image if you like.
okay, well, we got a sort of here. I got a bigger version. All right, so we got it's like a fabric background that's done all up rainbow style, and it gathers around a collar for this expressionless face staring straight ahead of us, straight ahead at us. There seems to be light emitting from this individual's forehead as they wear this motley illumination. What's it? And around this light emitting person's shoulders are the arms of, well, I'm going to guess, a young girl, maybe 6, 7, or 8, brunette, who is also looking straight ahead at us with another indeterminate expression. So this, I don't know. I did see the name Hayao Miyazaki mentioned at the bottom. And I always appreciate a director whose last name means welcome.
Ah, well, yes, it's the synopsis time travel gets a magical spin in Hugo Bienvenu.
Bienvenue.
It's an animated adventure Produced and voiced by Natalie Portman, a charming paean to friendship between two children from different eras, and a warning about our failure to preserve our environment, which is perhaps where the Miyazaki um, part comes in. Uh, Anime, but done by a Frenchman. We've seen a couple animes done by Frenchmen, which I don't know. The French, I guess, are interested in anime. There was the one with the frog whose name escapes
Oh
me,
yeah.
and then there was another one, two that we featured. I didn't know we were going to talk about this film, so I don't have those names at mind. I'll add them to the comments. Okay, that's an anime, and that with Natalie Portman behind it, more likely to get distribution, I would say. Let's go to one whose title we should perhaps not pronounce. It's always interesting to me when people choose these titles because they know they're going to affect their distribution prospects. This
Mm.
is, of course, I'm speaking, of course, of "Fuck My Son!" exclamation mark. And we do have a bit more interesting still here, Giles. Would you like to
Yeah.
describe the still for F,
Oh,
my son?
yeah, we got a terrible, dingy, icky pea green corridor leading to a brick wall. Off to the left side, we can see an open doorway. And standing, looking at us amidst a modest amount of junk around the floor, is an elderly woman, silver white hair, glasses. She's enjoying a cigarette, has one of those freaking dress blouse things that I don't think they've made for the past 40 years or more with a lace collar and a brooch on it. And she's got sort of long socks that are falling down and oh, I really, yeah, some sort of heeled shoe. So all very much, she's the old woman character from, more than a quarter century ago already. She is holding a steaming teapot tea kettle thing. And yeah, so I am intrigued
It's an
by
old
what's that?
it's an old woman.
It's an old woman, old dress, old shoes.
She is a matriarch.
Mm,
Okay, let me describe this for you. I'll read you the description. Todd Rohal, who we might know from the Cataclysm, Uncle Kent 2, the Guatemalan Handshake, and a number of shorts that we featured on our site. And I must say, I tend to like his shorts work the best.
mm.
Anyway, Todd Rohal violates all boundaries of good taste in this gleefully profane adaptation of Johnny Ryan's underground comic about a decrepit mother played by Robert Longstreet, who will stop at nothing to get her mutant son, Stevie Little, laid. Um, so, yes, here's some
Yes, indeed.
describing Todd Rohal. They call him one of America's most anarchic contemporary surrealists, and they call the movie the most abject exercise in poor taste since Pink Flamingos. So, uh, that's going to be something we'll be forced to check out, I think.
Well,
Um,
they have a nothing but trouble name drop in
they
the
do. That's what I
description,
was
so
getting.
maybe point Pete at this since he loves that kind of stuff.
That's what I was giggling about, the nothing but trouble name drop there. The programmer cheekily describes it as akin to being sneezed upon by Dan Aykroyd's penile nose from Nothing But Trouble. Um, and I made a big deal about Dan Aykroyd's nose in my review of that, and even chose that as a distill to illustrate that movie. So yes, this is going to be bad taste, John Waters style, but done Todd Rohal style. Todd Rohal's sense of humor can be a acquired taste, I find. I have not been the biggest fan of the feature films I've seen of his. Although, as I will say, I did tend to like the shorts more
Mm.
because it's the kind of thing that works better for me in small doses, but very absurdist and fairly obscene. You've seen Uncle Kent too, Giles.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
Oh, I enjoyed it. It was absurd and giddy and stupid and committed.
And the premise for Uncle Kent 2 was kind of great, where he took it's a sequel to Uncle Kent, which was a mumblecore movie that
Yep.
almost nobody saw, and so they made the sequel and just turned it into this surrealist comedy instead of anything that really had to do with the original Uncle Kent, which I thought was both brilliant and very nice of the original director to allow us to take that, allow them to take that direction. But
Yeah, and yeah, he even directed the first 3 to 5 minute segment before the credits, and there's a real difference in tone once Todd Rohal took over.
and hands it over to Todd Rohal for. So there it is. F my son, trying to get her son laid. Let me keep going. I'm going to keep going so we get through the ones that I had identified for
Hmm.
sure. Let's go to. I have to scroll up on this site. You can see how many darn movies there are here.
Yeah, and
There's
special.
one. It's a still from stills. You want to describe this still from stills really quickly?
Yeah,
Not
it's
much.
fire. It's mostly see this something is burning. It looks like I think I can make out it's a car. And so a bright flame going into an ambient orange, and we're looking at this probably car explosion fire over the shoulders of two fairly nondescript fellows.
Yeah. So this is called Barrio Triste. It's a hallucinatory found footage movie set among Medellin's juvenile delinquents. And the it's from a guy named Stills, who I am not familiar with, but he's a movie music video director. Um, and the score is from Arca, who I'm also not familiar with. These may be Colombian names. The Colombians may know who this is, since this is a Colombian production. Um, it is sort of, as you know, throwback aesthetic. It's found footage, but it's kind of camcorder style.
Mm.
And the really curious thing about here is that it is from Harmony Korine's production company, and he is the executive
Hmm.
producer. Edgelord, the people who brought us famously, baby, what's it called? The baby movie.
Oh, yes, baby
What's it
killers.
called? Baby. Gosh, why did I forget
You
the?
know, I reviewed it. I should know this.
Neither of us can remember the name. It's not Baby Killer.
Baby Invasion.
Baby Invasion. Yeah, okay. So that's Edgelord, yes. And the programmer says you might recognize Corinne's thumbprint here, more trash humpers than Mr. Lonely. Although it's the first film made by the production house without him at the film, he clearly is the inspiration and has picked this as something for them to back. So that's Barrio Triste. Harmony Korine fans will want to check that out. This next one is one that we discussed when it came to Sundance. And now at
Oh yeah,
it's at
yeah.
Toronto, so it's probably nearing the end of its run. It's bookended two major festivals. Very good to play. A very good sign that it played both those festivals. You want to describe this still?
Yeah, we got a green overcast lighting going on here for a profile view of one young woman and a front view of another. Their dress looks kind of strangely formal in a way, but I guess the most prominent thing worth mentioning is the right hand front-on view of that young woman. She seems to have a whole lot of blood kind of just smeared around, but with purpose, sort of makeup style, I want to say. But a lot of it that is shining particularly red because of whatever chromatic scheme they chose for lighting this pair of individuals.
Yes, and this is Dead Lover. It is about a grave digger who reanimates a corpse to be her lover, presumably of a dead lover. And it's a campy and gonzo spin on Frankenstein. Um, in the movie, I saw her interviewed or do a little promotional piece. She mentions that the lead character, the female grave digger, stinks and no one can stand to be around her
Hmm.
except for this one man. So this movie they describe as audacious. They describe it as a quintessential midnight movie experience concocted from a delightfully campy witch's brew of influences from British pantomime to German expressionism, madcap gothic comedy.
And we skipped
So
over the alliterative wonderfully wackadoo.
wonderfully wackadoo. Yes, I'm just skipping through. Yeah, and it's from Grace Glowicki. I believe this would be her debut directorial feature. We have seen her acting in a number of movies, but it's very promising, especially since it got all that notice from two different major festivals.
Yeah, and the not on the horror review types I follow on various social media have all had good things to say about this, particularly in regards to its delightful strangeness. So,
Yeah, it might be, to be honest, from the previews I'm hearing about Del Toro's Frankenstein, I'm thinking this may be the better Frankenstein movie of the year. Um, this one, I've we have a trailer for this actually. I don't know if you saw it, Giles.
no, no, I
Okay.
unfortunately
Do you want to
didn't.
describe quickly just in the still from this
Sure.
trailer?
We're in a basement. We're seeing two fellas clinking glasses, looking affably at each other. On the left-hand side, in a black mock turtleneck, is an older guy with a good wave of hair. I'm gonna guess he's in his 70s, and he's all grins. And on the right-hand side is a black gentleman in a green collared shirt. Gonna guess, I don't know, maybe 40s or something like that. And so, yeah, not very descriptive, but I'm feeling a lot of amiability from this frame here.
Okay, so this is The Man in the Basement, and this has been, it's from Hulu. It's backed by Hulu, so it will play on Hulu, and everybody who has Hulu at least will get the chance to see it for free. The trailer was released quite a while ago, and I watched it, and it's hard to pin down, but it just, it seemed promising. It seemed like something that could go either way. It could be really weird, or it could just be a little weird and end up with a totally rational explanation. But
Hmm.
you have to see kind of the ambiguous trailer to understand why this kind of grabbed me. Also, the fact that Willem Dafoe is in it. Usually, it's a good sign when Willem Dafoe shows up in a movie that it's going to be a bit stranger than average. The plot is essentially about the black gentleman here is in financial trouble. The mysterious businessman played by Defoe comes to his rescue by requesting to rent his basement for way over market prices, a deal he can't refuse. But then he has a bunch of strange requests and things get strange. There's going to be, some sort of racial tension or metaphor in there some way. And it is from a novel by Walter Mosley, who was a crime mystery writer, but this is like his only non-mystery novel. So I don't want to spoil it by finding out what it may be, but there's going to be some kind of twist or mystery in it. I will say that African masks feature in that somehow. So that was The Man in My Basement. And just since we have just a little bit of time, one more I thought I'd like to mention is Levers, which is a movie from Canada that explores the effects of a global day of darkness on the residents of a small Canadian town. It's dreamlike, per the director, it was shot in 16 millimeter on broken Bolex cameras, and you can see,
And you can tell.
yeah, you can see it has a very gritty, kind of fuzzy look to the image here. The only image we have. Not much of that, but the programmer says it has sensuous small town realism roused from an unsettling, unnatural occurrence. So it seems fairly promising. That one I think has probably maybe the least chances for distribution, though, of the one.
Yeah, and looking up Andrea Picard's IMDb page, there isn't much there. So we should jump on this and get in on the ground floor.
Yes. All right. Well, that should about do it for our Toronto preview. Again, Egghead Republic is my top pick. Giles, your top pick?
Oh, I mean, I'm Junk World, probably.